My lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome back to Transport Fever 2. We're at Green Bay Station today because I've made a few tweaks in between episodes. I've set up some bus services in the cities of Green Bay and Rockford. I foolishly neglected to do that when we set up our passenger services in terms of our passenger train lines. And the catchment area for the trains was absolutely minimal, or for the train stations was very minimal in both of those cities. So we really weren't getting that passenger generation that we wanted, so that's on me, that's my fault. But as we can see in the left hand side of the screen, we do have buses in Green Bay, done the same in Rockford as well. Also made a slight other change, and we might see that before the introduction is concluded. We might not, but what I've done is, because we unlocked the M300 rail bus in the last episode, the Rockford to Green Bay and the Rockford to Carrollton lines have now been swapped out and they use the rail buses, and by the sounds of it I think we have one just coming into Green Bay Station right now to have a look at. There it is. Let's just move over a little bit closer so we can see it. The station veranda was in the way there. Yes, we have rail buses, 2 diesel rail buses back to back. That gives us a capacity of 40, which achieves the same capacity that we were getting from the steam engines. So like for like, these are ever so slightly faster. Well, not faster, but they get up to speed a bit quicker. So they're a little bit more efficient, and they are quite cheap to run as well, and they seem to be doing a sterling job for us so far. However, we're not going to focus on Green Bay for much longer. Let's bring up the UI. Oh, just ticked into 1925, so we have the Dornier Mercure, and that's it. Okay, I thought it was going to be more unlocks than that. Now what we're going to do today is head back over to Nashville, because of course we want to get that fuel being brought into Nashville, don't we? We've started the food, if you remember, in the last episode. In fact, there goes one of our grain trains just leaving now. It's clearly had a full load, and in fact let's just have a look. How much do you get for a full load? 13.2 million per load. Not too shabby at all. So we've got a good production of food now going off over here at Fort Lauderdale. These trucks are then bringing it in to Nashville. Probably want to put a few more trucks on there if I'm honest, but we can do that a little bit later on. Now we just want to get this fuel sorted out, so I think it is time to rejig the lines that we have in this area and start setting up dedicated services. As I keep saying, one for the crude, one for the refined, and then one apiece for the fuel to both Knoxville and to Nashville. So if we're going to do that, then I take it this is one of our fuel trains right here, one of the long haul fuel trains, and indeed it is. So let's start making the tweaks. So you're coming from this station here, I believe, and in fact, can we just, yeah, there we go, we can now see the route that you're taking. So you come down here. So what we're going to do, we're going to make this service hauling just crude oil, and it's going to come through here. We might want to think about double tracking through this tunnel here. Then you get straight down there, that's fine. Maybe double track this bit as well now, and this bit here, and then you come around, and we'll keep this last stretch single tracked, and you come into Fort Lauderdale Oil Refinery and then start heading back. So this is going to cause all sorts of mess further down the supply chain, but we can deal with that ourselves pretty easily. So let's sort this out. So you are now going to be crude Athens to, whoops, there we go. So you're going to be crude from Athens to Fort Lauderdale, like that. Yeah, that's the correct city name. Give you a dark black colour, and then let's manage the line now. Athens oil fields to the Fort Lauderdale oil refinery. Let's now remove every other stop after the oil refinery. There we go. And what we want you to do is, you're not loading anything now, you're just unloading. So revert that back to load if available. Here you're loading the crude oil still, of course, and in fact we'll just specify that. So load the crude, unload nothing. Over here, unload the crude, load nothing. You can't connect all stations. Well, you probably can't at the moment, but that's not a problem. We'll just come back through and rejig the lines just to make sure that you can get back to the oil fields. Right, so you're going to come into the oil refinery. I said I was happy to have this last stretch single tracked, however I've changed my mind because we're going to have two services down here, aren't we? We're going to have the crude oil coming in, and then we're also going to have the refined oil going out to the Bellevue fuel refinery. So let's double track it a lot closer. Let's get ourselves some signals here just for blocking purposes. So you're going to come out this way. Let's make sure all these are the modern day signals. We still have semaphores down here. We hadn't got around to changing these at this point. So we'll do that as we're following or tracing the path of this train to make sure it can return okay. What we want you to do here is go back this way. So let's get a track and get a new node down here. This radius is going to be very tight and slow. Well, it's not too bad actually, 49 miles per hour. I thought it was going to be worse than that. And let's double track all of this. We'll double track all of this as well, all the way through. And this is where you come to a next stretch of double track. So let's delete that junction there, that switch. Bring you in like that, and then you should, yeah, you can now route yourself properly. Now we'll just go through the rest of this line, upgrading all of our signals from semaphore to light signals. That's single track. Do you want to keep that single? Maybe, maybe not, I'm not sure. We need two-way signals here apparently, so we'll do that. There we go, back to one way. Let's put a junction signal there, and now just back to blocking signals from here. Junction signal there and there. And now back to the regular style signals for the blocking. Get another one of those just there. Let's put a clearing one there as well. And then, yeah, that's fine. This bit can stay single tracked. So who's not happy? You. Who are you? Who are you and where are you trying to get to? Ah, you're on the wrong... Okay, I see the problem there. Well, that's easy to fix just by doing that. Yeah, because we double tracked all this, he ended up on the wrong side of the tracks, which is unfortunate, but it is a quick and easy fix. Let's put some more signals on down here where we've just double tracked this whole stretch. We don't want this being one long block. We want to make sure we can get trains moving nice and freely and steadily. So do that. We've got 3 signals there now. Let's just delete one of them. Doesn't matter which. There we go. A couple more blocks down here. Let's upgrade you. And I think all the others were already... Nope, this one wasn't upgraded, so let's just upgrade that one. I think the others were... Yeah, there we go. So that's a way for us to get a dedicated crude oil supply into the Fort Lauderdale oil refinery. What we need to do now is get the refined oil out of the Fort Lauderdale oil refinery and over to the Bellevue oil refinery. So let's configure the station. We've got high-speed tracks, but we don't need them just yet, so we'll stick to the standard tracks for this. Put down another cargo platform here, and this will be where the refined oil is loaded onto our trains. Let's see, can we make this into a diamond by being a little bit clever? If you come into there, like that, and then can you then become a diamond? Yeah, you can. There we go. So that's all sorted. Let's give ourselves a short clearing signal here. And what we also want to do, because we're going to have one service that unloads and one that loads, We don't want a train being loaded, a train waiting to be loaded to come on here, and then all the crude oil trains being stuck behind so they can't get the crude oil in to produce the refined oil that the loading trains are waiting for. So what we're going to do is put a little side slip here, little stables almost, little sidings, and this will be where. What are you colliding with? Why are you colliding? I don't see why you're colliding. You shouldn't be. You were parallel. Here we go. Again, you're doing it again. What's wrong with you? So you can go as far as there. No, you're colliding with that signal. Really? That's a thing, is it? Alright then, let's get rid of the signal. Simple solution there. Bring this down here. I bet you're going to collide again. Oh, you don't there. That's just odd. And say from this point here, we'll have another little slip which comes off and connects into here. Chuck some signals down on this new stretch of track that we have just constructed ourselves, like so. And we'll put one more set just there as well. And then we can make sure that either service, whether it be the incoming crude or the incoming trains that are going to load up on refined oil, they take one of two access tracks, and it'll keep them out of each other's way. So now we're going to depart. We're going to come this way. This is all double track. This is fine. Here we probably want to start double tracking again, like we did on the way back to the Athens refinery or the Athens oil fields. So let's get ourselves a stretch of double track between here, and we may as well go all the way to the Bellevue refinery, I believe. So we're going to double track all this. That is now on the incorrect side, so we need to remove that signal before we set anything up, because they won't like it and it won't work. Where's the node? There it is. You're going to come all the way out, make sure that is connected, and I believe it is. And you're going to come all the way around here, happy as you like. And this bit here, where it merges in, we'll just connect it together like so. You go all the way down here, all double tracked. Right here we need to make some adjustments, so let's just get rid of those two signal sets there. And let's give ourselves a diamond switch right here. Like so, and then that signal we deleted, we'll just push it forward to there. All these have been upgraded, but we're going to need more because we've just increased the length of double track all the way down here. So we want to make sure we have plenty of blocking capability. We don't need this anymore. This is no longer to be used, so let's get rid of it. It's just in the way and pointless now. This was obviously the way the trains were returning back to the oil fields, but they don't need to take that way anymore because they don't go from this direction back to the oil fields. So that's that. So now what we can do is a new line from the Fort Lauderdale oil refinery. We want you to have a full load and wait as long as it takes, because we can put you on a dedicated incoming track, so you're not going to mess about with anything else. Ooh, class 9000, very interesting. That is going to be brought in very, very soon, trust me. I like the 9000, so we are going to use it, and it's going to be on our long haul freight lines, of course. Anyway, yeah, you're just going to go from here into there, and what are you picking up? You're picking up refined oil. Just give you a slightly lighter shade. But what we want to do is make sure when you're coming back to the refinery, you go this way. There we go. It just keeps the two services separated, and they're not going to get in each other's way when they're waiting for access onto their relative platform, or the respective platform, I should say. So this is now RC, and this is refined oil, and we are going from Fort Lauderdale to Bellevue. BLVU, I don't know if that's what we used previously. I know we have used Bellevue before. We can always change it later on if indeed it is incorrect. Right, so now we need a train. We do have a depot here, but that's not going to work for us. So I think what we'll do is we'll put a depot in this empty area that we have right here. So let's get ourselves a train depot. In fact, why don't we build the tracks first of all, then we know we're at the right height. So we'll have one set of tracks coming this way, keep you perfectly level. Speed doesn't matter, it's just for them to gain access to the lines, of course, so I'm not concerned by that. You come in like that, that's fine. Nice crossover, is it? Yeah, it is. And then just on the end here, we'll just stick in that depot that we're looking to build. Stretch it out just a fraction. Buildings, depot. That's not as easy as I thought it would be, so we're going to have to... There we go, we get there in the end, and that's completely messed that terrain up right there. So we'll just quickly play about with that just to hide it, so it doesn't look as nasty as it did there just a few moments ago. That's a lot better. And then what we'll do is we'll do what we did at the other depot with our signal manipulation. So let's have... Well, first of all, we do want one-way signals which won't change there and there. And then we'll do that little trick by putting two one-way signals there, and whichever way we want the train to go when it departs the depot, we can switch it to two-way. So for instance, this time we want them to go to Fort Lauderdale, so we'll put that one as the two-way signal. Right, let's buy vehicles. Probably don't need the class 9000 for this, so we'll stick with, I think, a Mikado. Let's go ahead and double head it because we want a lot of production over here. And let's get our tank cars. Let's colour those the same colour as the line. And if we go for 200, 204 capacity, that's fine. Remove that. Whack on the caboose. Wanted to get 2. There we go, that's better. And you're going on that line. And then what we need to do now is expand our station up here because we want a platform to Knoxville and now a platform to Nashville as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So platform, nah, it's not going to work because that isn't station track. This is manual track, and deleting this is an absolute nightmare because it makes the nodes tiny. So let's just get rid of all of this. Not the well, it's not difficult, but it's just time consuming. Perhaps more time consuming than it really needs to be. Yeah, we'll get rid of all of that track there. There we go. That should allow us to put in our station track now. So, yep, down here. There's still bits there that I missed. That's a pain in the backside. There we go. Hopefully that is the last of it. And we can now do that. Is that connected in? Oh, it has actually connected in. That's good to see. Right, platforms, cargo platform, of course. Not there. Good lord. All the way down here. And then we also want another set of tracks down here. Because one platform obviously will be loading for onward delivery to Nashville and the other for onward delivery to Knoxville. And I think this outside one here is the one that will serve Nashville. Right, so let's reconnect that track into there. And let's give ourselves a switch here to get over to that side of the track. And let's put a stopping signal just there. So now we can set up a line from the Bellevue refinery. It's already picked a decent colour, which is quite handy. And we want you coming all the way up here. Where are you? Where's Knoxville? Here it is. Into... It is Knoxville, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it was. Into Knoxville. So, have you done a nice thing on your entire journey? That's all fine. Yep, that's fine. Sharing that. That's as it was. Sharing that. Coming down here. Yep, I remember doing all of this. Passing through. That's great. Around here. Yeah, that's fine. Is that right? Or can we get them to go through here? No, we can't, so we'll just leave that as is. Yeah, that's okay, but why don't we, on your way up here, have you share with this service, just to balance the load between the two. There we go. So yeah, back from Knoxville, coming down here, that's single. Yep, that's what we want you to do there. Yep, on the bypass platform. All this is shared and single, so very busy. Yep, that's good. Yeah, that's exactly what you should be doing. So let's just give this a name, RC, and this is fuel, and this is Bellevue to Knoxville. So at Bellevue, we want you to always leave with a full load. That is, of course, a full load of fuel, and however long that takes, that's fine. Let's get ourselves some new trains for this one, and I think for this we will look at the Class 9000. So this is where we want to swap these over, because we want it to go to Bellevue first of all. Well, we don't want it to go to Fort Lauderdale at all, so make sure they are swapped around. So locos, Class 9000. So we'll start with a single header and see if that's going to be enough. We want a decent amount here. Maybe 300 capacity. Oh, look at that. Still a good rating. And I think we'll just have the one train for this, because if I remember, fuel is not a primary commodity in Knoxville, so we don't need a massive amount going up that way. Let's just zoom out so we can see the line you're going onto. Can you get there? Yeah, you can. Of course you can. And there we go. So the last thing we need to do is get ourselves a connection onto this other platform. And this one will have it run separate on its way in. Let me think about this. Let's have you do something like this. Run down here. Again, you're colliding with... No, you're not. There you go. So what we want then is we want this so they can get back for the return journey onto the correct side. Have it run all the way down here. And from this point here, do something like that. And then down here, put in some signals. And this is where we want to go with... Not that. Not that. Okay, we'll have to do a left-hand side of the track one. Down here. Like that. And again, that's just to make sure that when we have multiple trains down here loading up with fuel oil, they're not blocking access for the incoming refined oil. So, new line then. Bellevue. Let's use that orange again. I'm just go for that orange there. I think that's the right one. Full load all. Wait as long as you need. We can't do it yet because we haven't got the connection to Nashville, but we can get it all set up. So this is fuel, and this is Bellevue to Nashville. I can't remember what the 4-letter token that we use, but yeah. So get to Nashville then. What we want you to do, we want a junction probably here. We want to, can we tunnel underneath that? We probably could. Come through here and into the station. So tracks, this is where we'll diverge this new line. Let's have you stay level and hopefully that'll give us a nice looking overlap on this. Just wait for the train to get out of the way. I bet that's the, yeah, so that's the Class 9000 just going through there. So it's a pretty long train. There we go. How does that look? Well, that looks a tiny bit better, so that's what we'll do there. So you go there. I'll actually have you come parallel. And we want it to tunnel under the crude oil line. So let's just have it... In fact, no, we don't want it to go up. If anything, we want it to stay at least at its current gradient. There we go. So you're coming this way around. And now we want you to start heading downwards. So let's do that. And let's have you come down at a 2% slope. Hopefully this will be enough to get us under and a tunnel. Not quite. Oh, yes, it will. So, yep, tunnel underneath that. So you don't have to worry about crossing over and blocking anything in. Bring them level. And now as we come out, we want the game to redetermine the correct or the most appropriate gradient for us. In fact, no, let's have it stay, let's say 5 meters, I think. So we've developed a bit of greenery along here, but if we want to get rid of that, we can always just paint it, and that's obviously because we've gone below water level in this area. It shouldn't cause a problem. And coming out here then, on our platform tracks, which are the leftmost tracks, we want just to connect it in to everything else. So let's have you stay, in fact you can drop down a bit, 8 meters. And you're about to go straight into the farm. Let's rethink that, shall we? That's not going to work for us, is it? Straight through the farmer's living room. Yeah, 5 meters I think is what we set the other one to, so that's what we'll go for here. And can you... well, don't do that. Not 2 meters. Okay, you're gonna be strange, aren't you? Oh no, it's not too bad. It messes the roads up, but that's not my concern. Make sure we don't go through the farmer's slurry tank or septic tank, whatever that is right there. And how does that look? It looks a bit odd, so I think what we'll do is we'll push this back, which has also got rid of some of that greenery. There we go. Now it's very square, which is a bit odd, but well. Now let's do that one. Field removed. Yeah, that's fine. That's better. Yeah, that's a lot better. That works better for me. Bring that in there as well. And what happens if we smooth this? It just makes it all green. Okay. Let's just take the edge off some of this here, especially where we've had to dive into the ground. There we go. Over here as well, just especially where the roads got messed about. There we go. So now we want some signals on this new stretch of track, of course. So let's go ahead, put ourselves a junction signal there. And then from here on out, it's just your regular blocking signals between here and the refinery. So let's take care of those. We're only going to have 2 trains, so the blocks can be nicely spaced out. And let's just clear those there if anything's coming the other way. Yeah, that's fine. So let's go back to that line we were constructing. So add station. Now you can come to the Nashville cargo platforms, which you have indeed done. But when you're coming back, we want you to come down. Oh, you've already done it. Look at that, you clever sausage. Brilliant. That will work. That signal there is too short. In fact, both of those signals there are going to be too short. Let's remove them. There we go. That should avoid any potential problems. Great. In fact, it's that signal there we want to remove. Do we have another one down there? Yeah, we do. Yeah, because that could block in and overhang. Yeah, the switch just behind. So let's just do this again. So we'll push that one to there. You're coming that way, and let's give you another one there. And let's have a left-hand side one. Are you going to be too close? Maybe. Let's have it about there. In fact, let's just get rid of those signals altogether. That one can stay. That's not... In fact, no, let's just get rid of it. Yeah, that'll work. Are they still going the right way around? Yeah, they are. Perfect. So, where do you mean, where's the fuel needed? Do you reach? Well, you pretty much cover the entire city, so yes, you are going to reach. Let's get ourselves a train. Probably don't need a Class 9000 for this one, so let's drop back to the Mikado. But we might want to double head it. Cargo then. And let's go for 150 capacity on this fellow. There's our caboose. 2 of those, 30 million. And yep, away you go. Okay, so that's all that taken care of. I think, in fact, no, before we do end it, let's upgrade our big earners to the Class 9000. So let's just filter by rail. So the coal to Nashville. I didn't know you were, so you are. You're a big earner, aren't you there? Well, that's I didn't anticipate that. Sorry, the big capacity ones. So you've got 25, and now this is that's a 20 consist. That's quite big. 21. That's also quite big. Could have a class 9000 on that. So these coal ones definitely will. So have they got? No, they got the Mikado. Edit these. That's only 200 capacity. No, it's a shame we can't filter these by train length. Let's just do it by line and see if we can. So 204. You're also going to be 204. Yep. You 192. You don't need one. You've already got a class 9000. We want you. This is what we want right here. So let's go through. And using train 47 as our dummy, let's see how it does. Let's get rid of that trailing engine. Look at that, just one loco still has a good rating over 3 locos as we were running before. That's insane. Class 9000s it is. We want to make sure we get rid of those trailing locos. Pop those to the front, modify, and the Isaiah Ramos we of course want to set to very high, which it already is, which is great. Anything else that we can see that would benefit or we think would be good for a class 9000? Not that, they're not pulling enough really. It would be overkill for those. Maybe we'll just stick to those 2 for the time being then. Let me think. What about you? No, you're only single-headed. What about refine? No, that's too short of a journey for you to be viable. The grain trains, possibly. Let's have a look. Bearing in mind, of course, a double-headed Mikado is 1.4 mil, and the class 9000 is 2.1 mil. So it's an extra 500,000 in maintenance per year, and are we getting £500,000 per year benefit from this? Do you know what? I think actually on this one, yes, because as we saw in the outro, these trains do sometimes have to slow down at signals, and having them be able to get that speed back quickly would be very, very useful. So let's do that. And for that sake, let's also do the coal ones as well then, that are going into Carrollton, especially these long haul ones. So this one right here, Nashville to Carrollton, we'll also sort these out and have these. I mean, what you're still running the, is that the 442 Atlantic? It is, isn't it? Yeah, you're still running the Atlantic, so you're going to be miles. In fact, oh, that's the Mikado. That's why. Not 2 of them. Click the wrong thing there. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, that's it just blows it completely out of the water. And what it does mean, it means we have scope to increase the consist lengths as well in the future. But that's all we'll do for the class 9000 for now. She'll go down and have a look at one of them up close. We know this is going to be one because, yeah, let's jump. Don't want to jump on board as such, but just have a. That's a monster. I like that train. That is a. I mean, of course, the big boy will make it look like a model, but for now, it certainly is our beast. Very nice indeed. Okay, so we'll wrap it up here today. What should we have a ride on? Maybe... Oh, you're a long fella, aren't you? Look at you. Let's ride on... See, this is what I mean now. This is not going to block the incoming refined oil, which is exactly what we want to not happen. Where is our refined oil? Being loaded. Where's our crude oil? Where's all our crude? Here it comes. I think maybe we want to look at improving our crude oil trains. Anyway, we're getting distracted. We need to do a cab ride outro. let's go. What the heck? Let's go to Knoxville today. So we'll send this on its way. It's going to run empty, of course. Plus, we get to have another look at the 9000, because why wouldn't you? It's just fantastic. It's a beautiful train. Whoops. Not from that angle, it's certainly not. About there, yeah, that's fine. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Class 9000s, love them, absolutely love it. Good to see them on the map finally. We'll have the big boys obviously in the future. Oh, what we need to do, we need to pause the date, of course, before we miss anything else. There we go. As always, your comments and the rest of it is more than welcome either in the comment section down below or over on Discord. A link is available in the description of each and every video. Special thank you to those of you who are pledged on Patreon. Thank you very much indeed for that. It's an absolutely fantastic gesture. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.